So now I'm seeing forearm rotation and I've got pressure down in the handle. Today I'm talking about the big 3 ingredients at impact every golfer must know about. Let's get to it. A big warm welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking the big 3. The big 3 impact. Now if you haven't seen it, my broom video and part 2 of my broom video are absolute key videos for you to go check out. If you haven't seen them, what have you been doing? Well, they're there in all their glory. Go check them out. The follow-on from the broom series, I've had a few people message me to say, well, Stuart, you've taught us about the through swing, you've taught us about the backswing. Let me know what needs to go on through strike. There are 3 ingredients that happen through strike that every golfer must know about. Number 1, arm lift. Arm lift absolutely goes on in a backswing, doesn't it? We lift our arms up, we have forearm rotation, then we rotate our body. So if I've got arm lift, I must have a lowering of the arms as well. So my forearms have to lower themselves down through strike. If my forearms are lowering themselves down through strike, what that will mean is that you are pushing the light end to the floor. If I get the broom back out, boom, and I start to push the broom down, as I push the broom down, you're able to see that the head of the broom lifts itself up. If the head of the broom lifts itself up, it means that the shaft, if I now come around to the golf ball, is now leant forwards. I'm pushing the broom down. Really important you go check out that broom video. It's just up in the corner. I push that broom down. As I say, I move around, I now create shaft lean. Shaft lean absolutely does not happen and occur from moving the handle sideways. It's an absolute fallacy. So keep the pressure down. So therefore, the arm lift up and the arm lift down, the pressure down. That's absolute number 1. The second is the forearm rotation. The forearm rotation is allowing this club head to swing around. Forearm rotation, if that's the pivot point, so I've got the handle pressure down, the club head must swing around. So now I'm seeing forearm rotation and I've got pressure down in the handle. So I'm moving the handle around. Yes, the handle's moving around and the club head's swinging out and the club head's squaring the face to a degree. But the amount I rotate my forearms, if I now don't rotate my forearms and I keep them locked out, you can see even with that amount of rotation and the handle in, you can see the head has not swung. So the forearm rotation actually enables the club head to swing around. And so people have commented about flip of the club face, turning the toe down. Well, of course, if I rotate my forearms over and then I change my wrist angle, so I rotate my forearms over and then I change my wrist angle, all of a sudden I've got no flip, have I? Loft was looking up, a flip is toe down. So I've created forearm rotation, I've changed the face angle, no flip there. I've created the force and pressure down, there's the shaft lean. And the other ingredient, the third and final big ingredient, are wrist angles. Now, depending on the grip, will depend on the wrist angles that you need to acquire. And that's why I say appropriate grip. Because for someone that has loads of bow in the left wrist, if you gave them a really strong grip, that club face would look ridiculous, super sharp. If you had someone that was a really weak grip, the bow of the wrist now makes the face more weak. more square. So when you then come into strike and we have pressure down, we have either a cupped wrist or a bowed wrist. Depending on the grip, I weaken my grip off and I bow my wrist. I weaken my grip off and I bow my wrist. Strengthen my grip and I bow my wrist. You can see it affects the face angle. So depending on the grip that you've got, whether it's the weak side of life or the strong side of life, would be dictated, or should then dictate the wrist angles that you are looking to acquire. We have push down. This is the lowering of the arms. We have forearm rotation. This is the club moving around, swinging around, and then we have wrist angles. So these are the three important elements from the belt up that will really start to create how we move the golf club through strike. So if I was to just move the handle down, I'm just going to focus on the first element, creating pressure and force underneath my chest, which is force and pressure down that way. Look how the angle of attack was steep, 7.8 down. I'm then going to push even harder down underneath my chest. I really drive the handle down, still create 7. Let's see if we can get a little bit more for you. So I need to create some load, force and pressure down. So force and pressure down. It looks like the golf club is working out that way, but as I'm pushing down and energy is working out, the club head will start to swing more from the inside. So there we go. I've pushed down underneath my chest. As I push down and underneath my chest, it leans the shaft more forwards. Now, as you can see, it now opens my face up. So as I start to push the force down more, as I approach the golf ball, feeling the forearms move around, starts to help swing the club head out and start to line the path back up and the face back up. And then how I make my wrist angle will ultimately dictate where the face points through strike as well. So there's 3 elements to strike that we're always looking to balance up when we're hitting shots. If anyone says to you, there's no forearm rotation, there's no force down, and the wrist angles are irrelevant, if they say one of those elements isn't important, well, they're lying to you, because they're all important, and it's about understanding the relevance of one of those 3 ingredients that will make the most difference to your golf. So as I start to swing the golf club down at the bottom, because as the club head swings, look how the forearm must rotate. I'm still got force down. Just because the forearm swings and rotates, it still means that I've still got shaft lean because I've still got pressure down. If my left wrist was now cupped, the face would be open. So as I say, the 3 elements are really going to help you line up the attack angle, the path, and the face to path. If you isolate each of the ingredients, you'll start to appreciate their relevance. So as I've demonstrated the attack angle, the pressure down, now I'm going to forget about the pressure down and I'm just going to simply make my forearms rotate. I'm not talking about the club face. I'm simply about making the shaft lay down. So I'm going to make the shaft lay down. Shaft lay down, ball bent away to the left. But if I was someone that was really weak with my hold and battled the slice, and I made my shaft lay down, you can see the golf ball doesn't slice, and it doesn't bend around to the left as much. So depending on where the face orientation is, forearm rotation or lack of rotation will either make or help your ball go right or left. Then I grip my golf club and I now make my left wrist really flat through strike. My ball went low and to the left. I made my wrist really flat. Ball's gone a long way left. Be helpful if I got a slightly better strike on it than that. Ball's gone a long way left. because of the way I grip the golf club, if I now make my left wrist a little bit more cupped and I hit the golf ball, my golf ball will go to the right. But it won't go to the right as much as some people's because I have got a slightly stronger hold. So the wrist angles play a part. So if you went down the range and started applying pressure on the handle, and you just simply did this drill, push the handle down and move the golf club around, push the handle down and move the golf club around you, you'd start to feel where the exertion of the handle pressure should be through strike. If you then got yourself up to work on forearm rotation, you laid the shaft down parallel to the floor, made a backswing, laid the shaft down, made a through swing, you'd then start to get a sensation of how the forearms worked. And then if you went back, made the backswing with a cupped left wrist, and then you made a backswing with a bowed left wrist, you'd start to see the impact of that. And if one bent more to the right or one bent less to the left, you know which side of the coin you are with your hold. So those three elements are absolutely, principally, all things said and done, are the biggest torch into your impact and what's going on. I think you'll find that's really good coaching. Thanks so much for your time. Do hit the like, share and subscribe while you're here, and I look forward to seeing you next time.